If you don't know what a victim of medical comedy is, allow me to explain. So imagine you're in that cold, white, sterile environment of a doctor's office.
Mm-hmm. And he might say, please remove your shirt. And you'll go, buy me dinner first.
And they give you nothing because they've
Crickets.
heard it all before. You are therefore a victim of medical comedy. Rianne is one of the comedic geniuses of our lifetime. I strained my hip, in inverted commas, and needed to go see a physio. So the physio had to adjust my pubis bone.
Oh.
And he had this...
I bet he did.
Imagine if you used that line at home. Hey, babe, would you like your pubis bone adjusted?
You want to adjust my pubis, babe?
Okay, so Rianne has started calling the physio the dude. The dude had this kind of hammer and chisel kind of vibe, so he could like knock it back into place and stuff. You know how like they add a bit of pressure?
Those rubber like mallet things that they, yeah.
And sort of it must be like not a chisel with a sharp edge, but obviously like a dull thing so he can get in there and like knock things back into place.
Wow, she's done a good job.
A real good job.
Holy
She's
moly,
really
she must be in so much pain.
Yeah. So I'm laying on the table and he was sort of positioning with a right angle the chisel bit towards my pubis bone. So he was like, and he was just about getting ready to hammer it. And Rianne says, be careful not to miss. You wouldn't want to lose your tool.
To the doctor.
So the doctor was looking about where he was about to hit. And she said she pulled the hammer back ready to hit. And then she said that and he just stopped in his motion, didn't look at her, just stared at the thing and went, and then just proceeded to hammer and didn't mention the joke, reference the joke or anything.
As a fellow victim of medical comedy gone wrong, then
Victim of medical comedy. That's the name of this episode. Victims of medical comedy.
A victim of medical comedy gone wrong. I'm fucking with you, Rianne. You're just trying to make it better. They go, fuck you, bitch.
Just start hammering away at your pubis.
Not interested in you at all.
Bridget and I are hoping and trying for a child.
Yes.
And I have gone to get a checkup to like test my swimmers. And we discussed this on the Patreon episode. You don't go into the room and like jizz in the cup. You have to do the deed at home and then take the cup into the hospital and drop it off. But you have to bring it in between 8 a.m. and midday. And it's in the city. The parking's awful.
Oh, my God. And you can't get in an Uber with a cup of your jizz. Ryan.
I don't have a car.
Ryan. Ryan.
So
Ryan.
the guy goes, what time's your appointment? And I go, I'm just dropping something off. And he goes, oh, what are you dropping off? If someone says they're going to a hospital, you just don't ask questions, right?
Don't fucking ask questions.
So I have to drop this off at 8 o'clock and I start work at 8 o'clock. So there's a bit of time pressure, like get in, drop it off, get back to work. So I'm a bit flapped. So I get into the place, the girl working behind reception.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't want to,
No.
She does a double take. She kind of looks up, sees me and then goes, and then like looks me straight in, like to.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes with the podcast and radio, some people might recognise you or something.
And the TikTok videos as well, they just pop up.
I don't.
Don't say pop up. Yep.
Don't say pop up.
Oh, fuck.
So because I'm awkward as fuck and because I spend time with Toni Lodge, without choosing this method, I've gone to comedy because I'm like, I need to break the ice.
Oh, my love.
And so I said,
and you're not good at comedy, not like me.
I'm no Toni Lodge. And I don't need anyone to confirm that. I know that I'm not as funny as Toni. And so I said to her, oh, it's in my pocket. What do I do with it? And she goes, put the jar over there. And I said, jar? Is that funny?
Implying you had loose sperm in your pocket.
I just thought that was funny at the time. I panicked. I wanted to break the ice. I was like, oh, you're supposed to put it in a jar and then kind of like put my hand in my pocket as if.
Oh, so just to recap, this girl, she's recognised you. Then she said, just put the jar over there. You've said, jar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My world crumbled after her next sentence. She looks me in the eye.
I can't.
And you know what she says? That's very funny from you.
Wait, like deadpan? Oh my God. And then what?
Then I put the jar in the basket and walked out, and I'll never return there again in my life. The script has been flipped today.
Mm-hmm.
Tarpa Kayla says, I'm a doctor, but my humour is wasted on patients.
Sorry, can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
Doctors should not be listening to this.
Yeah.
They're too smart. You're too smart to be listening to this podcast.
Well, we have been accused of being a brain break.
Brain break, yep.
Well, remember that lady we proved one day and she was from Harvard.
Oh.
And we just went, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You guys always talk about medical humour being wasted on the doctor, but I'm the doctor and the real issue is when I drop comedy gold and it's wasted on useless patients.
Yeah.
For example, says Kayla, I'm a chiropractor. Sorry, did a chiropractor just call themselves a doctor?
I thought that osteos were the only of the bone crackers that were referred to as a doctor.
Now, I Ryan, want to put it out on the record that Caitlin has sent through her example, and I'm like,
so we not only just like laughing along with the situation, we get to decide whether the joke is worth the laugh or
she
not.
goes, my humour's wasted on patients, and I'm like, maybe it's not the patients. No, we'll decide.
Oh, chiropractor humour.
Yeah, this fucking landed at chiropractor school.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
So did, calling yourself a doctor.
Maybe Caitlin said, I'm Dr. Caitlin, and the patient went, oh, is that the joke? Or is that
I'm going to do some comedy. I'm here to crack you up. That's not the joke, but it should be. That's way better.
Caitlin, if you're listening,
use that. You're welcome.
That, yeah.
Or especially after, Okay, let me just read what Caitlin said. When the patient comes in for their regular maintenance visit, if I find a bone that's misaligned that I've adjusted before, I'll often say, oh, well, that's not where I left that.
No, I like that.
Okay. Australian paramedic confesses. One night, I was supposed to be professional while treating an 80-year-old lady. I was helping her with an inhaler and she breathed out too hard and it fell out onto my face.
Yep.
Says the Aussie paramedic. She apologised profusely and I said, don't worry, love. It's not the first time a stranger's blown on my face. Then I remembered I was at work and maybe that wasn't appropriate, but the not so innocent old lady knew exactly what I meant and absolutely pissed herself laughing.
See, I was like, that could go one of two ways. She's either like, what did you say?
Well, it could go one or two ways. She pissed herself laughing and that's when things went downhill.
She actually pissed.
The poor old duck was laughing so hard her oxygen levels plummeted. We had to upgrade our treatment pathway to severe because my joke put the nana into respiratory distress. What a compliment.
I would love to put someone into respiratory distress.
Yeah. In fact, it's a blight on your comedy that I'm never distressed.
Yeah. You need to be more distressed. If you loved me, you'd be more respiratory distressed.
Okay, well...
Again, not a medical professional, just a chiropractor.
We had to lob her into an ambulance and yeet her to hospital.
No!
Now, I'm just reading what
Sorry.
she said.
Of all the things you've said, blown on my face, yep, take that, that's fine. Yeet her to hospital. I draw the line at yeeting someone to hospital.
I swore at a secrecy and I looked at her and said, do not tell anyone.
That this is my fault.
That this is my fault. And I said, promise. Say that you promise.
Oh, yeah. She would give you, I reckon she'd be sweet.
She could no longer talk, but she did nod.
She died?
No, she just couldn't talk.
Oh, yeah, she nodded.